When you hear the word engineering, what comes to mind? Roads, bridges, towering skyscrapers. While these are visible signs of engineering, its impact goes far beyond infrastructure. Engineering shapes the way we live, from energy that powers our homes to technology driving climate solutions. Yet, despite its crucial role in sustainable development, engineering often doesn't receive the attention it deserves in global discussions on the future of our planet. And in recognition of this, the UNESCO proclaimed March 4th as the World Engineering Day for Sustainable Development in 2019, a few years back. And it's set as a day to spotlight engineers behind the innovations that make societies more resilient, equitable, and sustainable. This year's event was hinged on the theme Unleashing the Power of Engineers to Advance Sustainable Development Goals. The event brought together experts and policymakers to address the challenges and opportunities in engineering for sustainable development. And of course, that's with discussions on energy equity, the digital divide, and the future of engineering education. The gathering pushed important questions, for instance, how we can ensure engineering remains a driving force for a better world. Well, we'll get to more of that in this report. Leaders, experts, and innovators convened at the UNESCO World Engineering Day event in recognition of the indispensable role of engineers in building a sustainable future. Dr. Lydia Brito, in her keynote speech, highlights the power of engineering in shaping a more sustainable and equitable world, stressing the urgent need for engineering expertise to tackle global challenges. She further raised concerns on the UNESCO report, which indicates a global shortage of engineers, particularly in emerging fields like artificial intelligence. According to her, engineering education in developing countries face significant barriers, with women underrepresented in the sector, especially in sub-Saharan Africa.
Today, we celebrate the power of engineering to shape a more sustainable and equitable world. This year's theme, Unleashing the Power of Engineers to Advance the Sustainable Development Goals, aligns with the International Decade of Sciences for Sustainable Development. It highlights the urgent need to harness engineering expertise to tackle global challenges. However, the UNESCO report, Engineering for Sustainable Development, highlights a major concern: a global shortage of engineers. Many engineering education systems do not align with emerging fields like AI, renewable energy, and advancing manufacturing, making it difficult for graduates to work in engineering.
Dr. Emmanuela Colombo takes the stage, expanding the conversation beyond technology to the fundamental role of engineering in bridging development divides. Sharing her personal journey in engineering, she recounts how in 2000 she co-founded Milano Engineers, a group dedicated to discussing engineering's role in sustainable development.
For me, engineering has always been something beyond technology, about creating solutions, creating bridges that help us to overcome any divide, any development divide that is still in our society. At the beginning of my small journey, this was a concept, something very vague in my mind, that was activated at the age of 10. At the beginning of 2000, together with the, let me say, non-conventional group of engineers, we founded in Milano Engineers Without Borders, to talk about the engineering and sustainable development 10 years before the coming of the Agenda 2030. So it was really quite a time. We were considered a little bit crazy people at the time.
She identifies major challenges facing sustainable engineering today, describing this era as one of continuous unpredictability, where uncertainty affects economic and social systems. Dr. Colombo stresses that engineering should not just focus on creating things, but ensuring that what is created benefits the society.
We can for sure escape to mention the current era of uncertainties that we are living in. A continuous unpredictability have now become the new frame of reference. We have these shocks that create a large or big, crisis, large or big uncertainties in our economic or social. We need to move from be able to understand how to build things, engineering job, also to understand why, the reason, the rationale behind we need things.
Turning her attention to Africa's energy transition, she advocates for equity and collaboration in the energy sector, recognizing that over 700 million people on the continent lack access to adequate energy. She calls for solutions that are for the people, developed by the people, and are with the people, pointing out that many discussions on Africa's energy challenges are dominated by voices outside the continent. To address this, her research group has activated PhD training programs and public officer initiatives to bridge the gap between science and policy, fostering greater African participation in science, technology, and innovation projects.
40% of increase of the investment from 2020 to today, but only 15% of these investment are going in Africa. 500 gigawatt of solar power installed in 2023, but only 2% of it is in the Africa continent, and where also we have still more than 700 million people without access to energy. So we have a problem of quantity. So we need to talk about investment, and we need to be aware that there are differences, and this can lead probably to different energy mix. We need energy that is for the people, that is developed by the people, and is also developed with the people.
She further addresses concerns about brain drain versus brain gain, recognizing the contribution of PhD graduates like Dr. Adedoyin Adeleke, who has returned to Nigeria to lead sustainable development projects. She calls for increased capacity building and research preparation, insisting that innovation must be inclusive and free without discrimination.
But even when we move, and I add another keywords, energy transition and Africa, the number of papers are a little bit less, 1,000, but still the majority of those who are talking about Africa and the energy challenge in Africa are not from Africa, including myself. So we need more voice in science coming from the continent. And this is one of the reasons why we have activated a number of training for trainers. You see some nice picture here, with a special attention to PhD, which can build a bridge, but also with attention to the public officer, because they are the one that need to trace the bridge between science and policy. So they have to understand a bit of science in order to put in place the right policy for that country.
In closing remarks, Xiao Feng reinforces the need to harness engineering for sustainable development. He highlights key integrating engineers into policy-making process to strengthen economies and foster inclusive communities. He draws attention to the global shortage of engineers, with only 40% of engineering graduates working in the field, stressing the need to attract young talent and create development opportunities. He also emphasized the necessity of making engineering workplaces more inclusive for women and leveraging cutting-edge technologies through international cooperation to tackle climate change.
We have seen firsthand how engineering drives sustainable development and tackle global challenges. This message must resonate beyond our engineering communities, reaching policymakers and the public to amplify this impact. So we need to do together on this task. Globally, only 30% of the engineering graduate are women, with even lower representation in Africa. We must champion the women role models like what we did today, create a more inclusive working place, and open educational pathway for girls, as outlines in UNESCO call to action, close the gender gap in science. We urge the engineering community to rally behind these initiatives.
As you can see, engineers do play a critical role in shaping policies, driving economic growth, and building inclusive communities, yet their contributions often go unnoticed. The World Engineering Day event serves as a powerful reminder that engineering is at the heart of sustainable development. We believe this event sets the stage for transformative action, one where engineers are not just problem solvers but the key drivers of global progress. This annual celebration is more than a commemoration, but it's a call to action because there's a need also to expand this conversation beyond the engineering sector. So be sure to celebrate and recognize any engineers around you. Once again, a very big congratulations to every engineer out there from all of us at Gringo TV. We see you and we value your contribution to the society. That's a wrap on the program, and many thanks for watching. I'm Tony Gubanjo. It's bye for now.